Paz. Let's do it. Los Tres Chingones boxing, man. Let's not waste any time. Shouts to all the chingones y chingonas. Let's I always forget to do this, man. There's Spencer. Bam, right there. All right. Hey man, we're all back, man. We're all back. I can't wait. I love talking boxing with my boys. So let's bring them on there, man. The scientist. And he's back with vengeance. All right. You guys can also catch him on Mike Angelino Boxing. I'm talking about one, Mr. Mike Zavala.
What's up, Ed? I'm back, big baby. I'm back. I've been on a hiatus a little bit because I had to put my dog to sleep. Rest in peace to Nikki. I love you, Taco. But I'm back with a vengeance. Boxeo. Let's go, baby. Let's get it.
That's right, man. That's right. Your therapy, boxing, humps.
Oh yeah.
So let's bring in El Gran Chingon, El Mero Mero, Mr. David Contreras.
Nice.
Hey, brother. I am so excited, man. Some great fights this past weekend. Plus, the brothers, all three Chingones are finally together again. And ¿sabes qué? Let's get into it, man. We have a lot of good things to talk about. Looking forward to a great show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got Hector up in here. Cule. Carlos Zamora, man, pastor up in Apple Valley. What's going on? Let's get ready to rumble. Eso, man. Hectic is saying RIP Taco. Man.
Yeah. Thank you, Hectic.
It's
good Taco,
it's always a sad one, man. But yeah, how long did you have him for, Mike?
15 years, man. 15 years, man. 15 years, Ed. I know I'm greedy. Dogs don't last that long, or they do, but that was my son, man. My pit bull, man. I miss it. I still dream about him. I hear him right now. I miss him, man. Oh yeah.
Wow, man. You know what? Let me my connection seems to be a little bit off. The Spencer for everybody. If my connection's a little bit low, it should be picking up here in a minute. But anyway, gentlemen, we had a lot of boxing, man. First, David, you want to give a shout out, brother?
Yes, yeah. You know what? We want to give a shout out to Jesse Moreno. He's a coach, trainer, and owner of a boxing academy or boxing program there in Temecula. When he saw our show in Spanish on Wednesday, he immediately texted us after the show saying it was a great show, but he also wanted to give Mike one of his dogs. It's a bully pit bull to basically, out of a kindness of his heart. And we want to thank him for watching the show, first of all. And he's also the trainer and coach for Raul Izárraga, who's going to be fighting next month, and we'll be profiling this fight. But Jesse, thank you very much. I told Mike about it, and Mike, you want to go ahead and just thank him and tell him what your response was, if you don't mind?
Yeah, Jesse, thank you so much, brother. Man, that means a lot. I'm grieving my dog, man. It's been like 2 weeks barely, and I'm still grieving, man. And I appreciate you, offering me one of your dogs. You know what I mean? But right now, I'm still grieving, brother. I can't, man. I still hear my dog. I cry about him, cry for him at night. So I can't do it right now. But thank you so much, brother, from the bottom of my heart. And Los Tres Chingones, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Gracias. Thank you, brother.
Gracias, man.
Eso. I just want to give a shout out to one Mr. David Martinez, that I am going to be using some of his articles on this channel. I'm going to be doing boxing oddities. Some of this stuff I've never heard of, but I'll be breaking some of that stuff right here on this channel, man. But so shouts to Jesse Moreno, and yeah, man. We're all sorry for your loss, big dog. So
thank you,
man, gentlemen, like it was like an overdose of boxing. This past weekend, we had boxing on ESPN, we had boxing on Showtime, we had boxing on DAZN. I mean, there was boxing all over the place. Before we get to any of these fights, Mike, do you like to have that much boxing in one night, or do you just kind of want one card? Like how do you like having 3 different promotions that are somewhat meaningful fights to have in one night?
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna have 3 meaningful fights, I'd rather have 1 meaningful fight and concentrate on that one. You know what I'm saying? Just putting all your efforts, all your eyes on just that fight to see how Shakur Stevens looks, every little thing he does, or how Bam Rodriguez, every little single thing he does. But when you have to concentrate so many things, you're gonna have to go watch the fight 1, 2, 3 times to really see the fight and understand the fight and break down the fight. So yes and no, but most likely I would just want to concentrate on one. If you want to just keep your 100, I just want to concentrate on just one. But that's boxing for you, right?
Yeah. David, I think like myself, you have multiple TVs. I have 3 TVs in that I can watch all at once. Do you like having multiple fights going on at once, or would you just rather have one card going on?
Ed, I personally hate it. Okay. I hate it. You know what? Especially this weekend, for whatever reason, the fights all started at 11:30 my time, which is 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. I still have to count with my fingers. It's 8:30 your time, my time, 11:30. And it's just happened that they were maybe 30 seconds apart. So I literally had my 75-inch television. I'm watching the Shakur Stevenson fight. And on my 30-inch television, I'm watching the Bam Rodriguez. And on my little television, I'm watching the other fight. You know what I mean? Or my iPad. I mean, I couldn't enjoy it. I had to move the smaller television in front. So I'm watching the big one. I'm watching here, and I got this one here. I had to watch 2 of the fights the following day just so I could be able to talk about them, because I mean, I just basically was looking at the main when they knocked him down or something like that. So I didn't enjoy them. I wish that they would stop doing that. I mean, let's go to one great card every Saturday. We got plenty of, like this weekend. There's a big fight. And I know you're going to talk about it, Ed, but it's overseas. There's nothing else going on in America. Great fights this weekend in America. Next weekend there is. Why couldn't they move 2 of those fights? Bam Rodriguez would have been great this weekend. You know, Shakur Stevenson last weekend, and Fundora next weekend or the week after. So, yeah, I don't like it, Ed. It's Spencer for the long response, but you know what? I do not like it. No,
listen, David, I'm pretty much going to echo what you said, man. I got 3 TVs in my living room for sports, but not for boxing, because when it comes to boxing, I just want to watch it. Now, I like other sports. You know, I like baseball, and I like certain things. So when there's a boxing night, I definitely watch it on my big TV. And then I got 2 small TVs on the side, 2 small 22s. And I like to throw on, you know, a baseball game on one, and, you know, maybe whatever else is on, maybe a hockey game or whatever. but that way I'm watching the fight. I'm engaged in the fight, and all the other sports I can kind of glance over and see what's going on here and there. But when it comes to boxing, I need to pay attention.
Yeah,
I need the whole story to be told. I need to hear what's going on in between rounds. I need to hear the entire story. Like you, David, I don't like it. I hated it. This Saturday, tomorrow, there's pretty much just one fight, and it's overseas, which means our time, it happens during the day. I don't understand how, especially something like DAZN couldn't move the fight to this Saturday so they can have that full card. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So I didn't like it. I don't like it. I do like watching, I do like having my 3 TVs on for different sports, but not boxing on all of them. That's no. I just want to be on one, and that's that. But oh well. And like you, David, I kind of had to go back and rewatch some of the stuff to be like, wait, did I see that right last night? Because I'm kind of like, okay, but with that, let's go ahead and let's get into it. One of the not the main event, but one of the fights that people had a little bit of an issue with, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, was Brandon Lee versus Pedro Campa.
Great fight.
That I believe was probably the best fight of the night across all of the cards. Really good fight. I actually had that on one of the small TVs, and it wasn't until about maybe like the 6th round where I'm like, okay, let me switch it, because I think Bam Rodriguez was starting to walk to the ring or something like that at the time, and I'm like, let me switch them. But yet at the same time, I want to watch Bam Rodriguez, but I had to switch them. David, I believe you watched that fight. What'd you make of that fight? They gave Brandon Lee the win. A lot of people had a lot of problems with the scorecards. I'll go ahead and say this. Do I have a problem with the scorecards? Yes. Do I have a problem with him winning? Not really. How say you, David?
You know what? I'll echo exactly what you said, brother. You know what? I don't have a problem with him winning. As a matter of fact, I would be okay if it would have been a tie. Even if they would have given it to Campa, I would have still been okay. But one of the judges had 8-2, 8 rounds to Brandon Lee, 2 to Campa. Another one had it 7-3. I think 2 of them had it 7-3. What fight are they watching, Ed? I mean, that was to me, that is a contender. It's not going to be the fight of the year, but it's a contender. I too was watching that on my 30-inch, and I shifted it to the 75-inch because it was such a great fight. And I'm not a big fan of Brandon Lee. I like him, but I don't follow him. But I'll tell you, after this fight, he's undefeated. I don't know if he's going to be a world champion, but you know what? The guy has a lot of heart. And what fight were these 3 judges judging and looking at? There's no way that it was 8 rounds to 2 or 7 rounds to 3. There's no way. But I'm okay with the decision, not unanimous. Split decision would have been okay. Even a tie would have been okay with me. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that fight, Ed, to be 100. Yeah, I didn't see it, but Dave told me that fight was fire. Fight of the year, probably.
Oh, good fight. Yeah.
I think it could be candidate, but yeah, I don't think it'll win. Yeah. But it was definitely a good fight, man. The best fight of the night, like I said, across all 3 promotions. Yeah. That was the fight to watch. And a lot of people are upset at the scorecards. I am too, but I'm not upset at who won. I think Brandon Lee. I could definitely see the argument for Pedro Campa winning. I wouldn't have had an issue had they give it to Pedro Campa. Brandon Lee's 23 years old. And I think he's almost got like 30 fights. We're getting close to 30 fights there, man. So this kid's going, somebody sent me, my boy Vince sent me a video, I guess, of him after the fight. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if he's trying to build a fan base, if he's telling the truth, because a lot of people see him as Asian, that he's half Hispanic. I don't. He
Yeah,
said that
he is.
he's from La Quinta, which is out in the low desert. So I don't know if he wants to start throwing that out there to probably start building a fan base, because I don't think he's got too big of a fan base. But I like him. Go for it, Mike.
His mom's Mexican. His mom's Mexican and his dad's Korean.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, you know what, Ed? Okay. Ed, I think he's from Stockton or something. I don't think he's from La Quinta. I think he trains at La Quinta, but he's from up north somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick while we're talking.
Yuba City, California. Yuba City, California.
Yuba City. Yeah, that's up
Yuba
there,
City. Okay.
San Jose, that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but now he resides in La Quinta, or he just trains there?
I think he trains there. I believe he trains there.
Okay. Listen, La Quinta, I used to go deliver over there. Sometimes I still do. It's during the summer, man, it gets up to 120 degrees. It gets hot. So, drink your water when you're out there. But good fight, great fight. David, what do you want to see from both Brandon Lee and Pedro Campas?
It's a good question.
You want a
rematch? No, I don't want a rematch. I think it'll probably be the same. They fight at 147, correct?
So that was kind of the weird thing going into this. They're supposed to fight at 140. They contracted it to 142. So why did they do that? I don't know.
So if he's a 140 fighter, I don't see him as a contender. Compared to Regis, compared to the guys that are there, Ryan Garcia decides to stay there, which I think he is. I don't, Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor. I don't see him at that level yet. Do you see him at that level yet?
I see him competing. I don't see him beating any of those guys. No.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mike, I know you didn't get a chance to watch the fight, but anything that you want to see? The kid's 23. He's still young. Oh, he's got close to 30 fights.
Yeah, he has like 28 fights. He's 5'10". He's been. I seen his highlights. He got dropped and he got back up and he won. I love that about a fighter. And hey, let's. He gave us a great fight last week. Hey, let's put him with someone else. Let's see how he does.
You know who I'd like to see him fight? Jose Ramirez. I'd like to see him fight Jose Ramirez. That would be a great fight in Fresno.
I like that. I like that fight.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
I definitely like that fight. What's up, JC? I like that. That's a good fight right there. I like
because I don't see Jose Ramirez anymore at that top level, that top tier level. I just don't see him there anymore. You know what I mean? So I think a good fight would be Jose Ramirez right now after this fight.
You know what? I know Jose Ramirez has a loyal fan base, and shout outs to them, but I'm being real. I don't see him. I don't see him up there anymore either, man. I think he's hurting a little bit, and that would actually be a good fight. I would definitely like to see that. But with that, gentlemen, let's move over to Shakur Stevenson, who fought, who was it? Yoshino, who was an undefeated fighter. Now, word is that Shakur Stevenson and his team reached out to William Zepeda. They declined the fight. Okay, this is word, I'm giving you guys what I seen, what I read, what I've heard. Okay. Word is that they reached out to Pitbull Cruz, and that they declined the fight. And Yoshino was the one to step up. So they made this fight. Shakur Stevenson comes with a stoppage. He's 25 years old, stops Yoshino in a stoppage that I didn't like. I didn't like it. I don't think Yoshino was actually that hurt. I don't think he was going to win the fight. I really don't think he was going to win the fight. I thought Shakur was going to win the fight hands down. Pero de todos modos, he drops him twice, and he's still able to get up and still stay in the fight, losing the fight, but still in the fight. And I didn't like the stoppage. And even when the referee decided to stop it, it's not like Yoshino was in trouble. So I don't know, man. David, what'd you make of that fight?
You know what? Shakur Stevenson has a great defense, great leg movement. I mean, he has Andre Ward by his side. He has Crawford as his mentors, but he doesn't have the knockout power. You know, he doesn't have that knockout power. He didn't have it at 130. He definitely doesn't have it at 135. Everybody compares him to Floyd Mayweather. A lot of people do. I don't, but a lot of people do. Floyd Mayweather was knocking people out at 130. Floyd Mayweather, even at 135, was knocking people out. So I don't see him. I see him maybe style-wise a little bit. You know what I mean? Pero I don't see him. And I have a hard time believing that Camarón Cepeda refused to fight him. You know what I mean? That's a vicious rumor. Either that or Oscar, once again, screwed up by not allowing Camarón to fight him. Because I think Camarón would give him a damn good fight. I think that would be an awesome fight. It's not going to be an easy fight for Shakur, but I would like to see that fight. And I think Camarón would give him a good fight. And you know what? Shakur might beat him, but he's definitely not going to hurt him, because you know what? Camarón might even beat him, believe it or not. I believe.
Wow. Yeah. Strong words by a strong man.
Camarón. I mean, that guy's like that little bunny that doesn't stop, and he hits hard too. And you know what? You put a guy like that against Shakur, and Shakur doesn't have that knockout power, and this guy will possibly hurt him. I mean, I'm not saying that he'll, beat him easily, but I think he'll give him a good fight. I think he'll hurt him.
Yeah,
Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I studied Shakur. This fight was a showcase fight, right? Top Rank knows how to make stars. They know what type of fights to give you. This was a showcase fight, and he showcased his skills. Does he have power? That crazy power? No, but he has enough power to make you gain his respect, right? And he will hit you to the body. He goes upstairs, downstairs. His footwork was phenomenal. He does everything right. Andres said he was boring. It is boring because he's not the typical. He's a technician, but dude, this he's pretty good, man. I'm studying him. He's pretty good. He'll give Cepeda a great fight. That'll be a great fight. Devin Haney, a great fight. But Devin Haney's probably not even going to stick around after this fight with Lomachenko, because he can't even make weight anymore. So, man, I think he's going to reign supreme at 135. I don't see Pitbull Cruz. I don't see no one. Tank Davis. So I saw some good things out of Shakur in this fight. It was a showcase fight, and he shined. That's how I feel about him right now. He is going to be the top of the 135 for sure.
Hey, Ed, let me throw a quick shout out to Pomona Sounds. Pomona, right before we came on the show, this is what I was listening to. Hey, brother, your music doesn't get better than that. Matter of fact, Cholo, I was listening to it, and we both agreed. You play songs that we never heard growing up, even songs that we don't even know, but they're great songs. Una vez más, Pomona Soul Sounds. I love your radio station, man, and I listen to it all the time. Mil gracias for your great music.
Yeah. For all you guys, man, that forgot what real music sounds like, go check out Pomona Soul Sounds. She's gonna hook you guys up, man. Shakur Stevenson, okay. Fought an undefeated fighter in Yoshino. Are the rumors true that William Zepeda and Pitbull Cruz both declined to fight him? I don't know. Maybe it is. But again, is it really up to them, or is it really up to their promoter? So Shakur Stevenson, man, this kid has got everything except for power, right? But I like the way this kid moves. This kid fight. He's got the speed. And like you said, David, there's a lot of comparisons that people are trying to say, make him with Mayweather. Probably the later Mayweather, where he wasn't knocking guys out. He's just there to win. But look, he dropped Yoshino twice. But to be fair, Yoshino didn't seem hurt. He got back up. And it's not like Yoshino needed to run around the ring or hold and hug, man, because he was trying to get his bearings back together. Like, no, he gets back up and he's still in the fight. So he probably just got him in the right place to make his knees buckle and go down. The stoppage, I don't like the stoppage. I really don't like the stoppage. Now, an argument can be made that, hey, but if you think Yoshino was not going to win the fight, then why not stop the fight? You're taking something away from Shakur as well. You know, he's still, you know, what is he? 25 years old. You're taking experience away from him as well. From, hey, I can't get rid of this guy. I dropped this vato twice. He gets up both times, and I'm still in this fight. You're still taking something away from him. It's not so much, to save Yoshino, but you're taking experience away from young Shakur Stevenson. I did not like the stoppage. Did I think Yoshino was going to win? No. Shakur was he was definitely winning that fight. So what happens with Shakur Stevenson? I don't know. He's ESPN, man. Can they work something out with Oscar? Do you guys think Pitbull and William would want that fight and Oscar would just say no?
Well, I don't think Oscar. Does Oscar promote Pitbull?
No, Pitbull is actually PBC, I believe. But Williams a Peta.
Well, I think Top Rank, Dispensa, Mike, I didn't mean to jump in,
No,
but
go
I
ahead.
think Top Rank is preparing Shakur for the winner of Loma and Haney.
Yeah.
I think they're preparing him for that. So I don't think, that's why I'm telling you, I don't think it was offered, because I know for a fact, man, that Camarón would have jumped on it, and little Pitbull would have jumped on it too. Now, against Pitbull, I think it would have been a different fight, but Camarón definitely would have given him a great fight.
Yeah.
I agree.
And just real quick on the stoppage, just a little bit. Ed, that's the difference between UFC and boxing. And UFC, if Shakur would have been hitting him with those UFC gloves, he would that other fighter would have gone down, Yoshida. But the difference between boxing is like boxing, you have those bigger gloves, they're a little bit bigger, and he was hitting him with power after power shot after power shot, and that's the dangers of boxing. Like maybe the ref saw like, hey man, he's getting hit with too many power shots, and you know this era they're a little soft and they take care of the fighters. So I don't agree with the stoppage, but I understand because he was getting hit with a lot of power shots right in the head. Boom, boom. His head was just popping back. I'm like, damn, this guy needs to work on his defense. So maybe the refs saw that. And when you talk about the future of Shakur Stevenson, I think Oscar messed up again, man. How about that? Versus the Cepeda fight versus Shakur Stevenson, because I know Cepeda's down, but Oscar takes care of his fighters. He babies his fighters. Look at the kid from Tijuana. We always talk about that. Munguia, he had like 79 fights and 78 knockouts, but who has he fought? Taxi drivers. You know what I mean? So I strongly believe that Oscar dropped the ball once again.
But you know what? Well, Camarón, he's going to be the main event on the 29th, where Virgil Ortiz was going to fight. Virgil's no longer fighting, so now Camarón is going to be the main event. So maybe they're preparing him for that, which is in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. And the much bigger fight would be Shakur versus Devin Haney if Haney decides to stay at 135, which we don't know.
Or if he wins. He
might even lose.
He
might even lose the fight. So so I mean, there's that. So moving right along, man, we had a Bam Rodriguez fight over the weekend against Gonzalez. I am going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't that entertained by the fight. I'm really high on Bam Rodriguez. Come to find out, Lovato broke his jaw in the 6th round, and he goes and he finishes the fight. I expected a little bit more from Bam Rodriguez, but because of that, I'm going to cut him some slack. I got things to say about Bam Rodriguez, but I'll pass it over to you, Mike. What did you see, brother?
Oh man, it was a homecoming fight in San Antonio. Maybe there was a lot of pressure on the kid, and he fought. What was the opponent's name? Garcia. What was the other kid's name? Gonzalez. What a heck of a boxer!
Gonzalez.
What a great boxer! Great footwork. He used the whole ring. Hey, and this is a great learning lesson for Bam Rodriguez. He has to learn how to cut ring. This guy was boxing backwards and using the whole ring, and Bam won the fight. And I saw some great footwork from Bam, but he still has. If he's gonna be the guy, the man, he needs to learn how to cut ring. set traps with his footwork. So I saw some good things, but I also saw some bad things. For example, of course, the footwork and the boxer he fought a hell of a fighter, and he faced adversity. We always talk about that. He broke his jaw. We've seen fighters break their jaw and they quit, but we've seen fighters break their jaw and continue to fight. Bam Rodriguez, Valdez, Victor Ortiz broke his jaw and he quit. So he showed a lot of grit, a lot of heart, but he still. This was great work for him. Although he didn't. It was a homecoming fight for him to shine. He didn't shine as much, but he needs to work on his footwork. But he got 12 rounds of that work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, David.
Not once did he spit out his mouth guard, but yet on the Campa fight, he spit it out like 3 times. Remember in the Campa fight? But you know what? Even when Valdez fought, he spit it out. But this kid, man, I'm telling you, and I agree with Mike. You know what? This kid, Chiquita Gonzalez, he's a damn good fighter. So you know what? He's fighting a world-class world champion. I can't wait for him to heal. I want to see him fight Sonny Edwards. That's the fight that, you know what? If I have to pay, I'm going to pay, because that is going to be one heck of a fight. I just think that last year when he fought with like 4 times, with 4 times last year, his body was tired. But this time, the opposition, I mean, he's fighting a world champion, a classy world champion that we don't know much about him, because not many of us follow the 112-pound champions. But if you look at his record, who he's fought, this kid is a really good fighter. I think, and especially, I agree with you, Ed, in the 6th round, the guy was in the hospital for 2 days after that fight. They were, fixing his jaw. So this kid was fighting after the 6th round, and he completed all and not once spit out his mouth guard. So you know what? I think that based on that he did as good as he could, because he's fighting a world champion. But now I want to see him against Sonny Edwards. There, I want to see the Lomachenko moves. There, I want to see the knockout, and I think we will see it against Sonny Edwards.
Damn, I'm glad I let you guys go first, man, because I was I was about to rip into this kid. Okay, all right.
He needs to work on his footwork, Ed. You got to keep it real.
Yeah,
he needs to work on his footwork.
See, okay, I've seen Bam Rodriguez fight before, and this dude comes from all types of different angles.
Yeah.
I didn't see that in this fight. Now we can go ahead and say like, hey, that's because Gonzalez did not allow that. Okay, sure, so be it, right? Bam is only 23 years old, I believe. So I mean, we shouldn't expect a complete fighter. But I was on last week talking about like, man, Bam is like the most complete fighter that I've seen. But yeah, of course, there's still things that you can still do better and everything. But I'm thinking about his fights, and I'm like, look, this kid is like the Matrix. He's here, then he's here, then he's here, then he's over here. It's like crazy. I did not see that in this fight. I'm like, okay, Bam, where's your footwork at, man? Or, did Gonzalez just have the kryptonite to, put your feet down on flat, man? Because I didn't really see many angles coming from him. But you're right, Mikey, what you just said right there. Gonzalez was using the entire ring.
Yes, he was.
He used it of all the real estate there was. So, something that Bam... maybe I shouldn't be criticizing him, because he did win the fight. He did come out with the victory. Now, giving this kid the fortitude that he has, the toughness. Mikey, you just said vicious Victor Ortiz got his jaw broken. I remember he's the one that called it quits, not the corner. Yeah. Jack Reese went to him and said, my jaw is broken. And he told Jack Reese that, and Jack Reese said, what? He said, my jaw is broken. He said, so you want to stop the fight? He said, yeah, man, my jaw is broken. So Jack Reese stopped the fight. What you guys just said right there, man, I love it. I love it from this kid. And just like what you said, David, he never spit the mouthpiece out. No. He never, I didn't even know his jaw was broken. And in the 6th round, like, man, I mean, you could kind of fake it for 2 rounds left in the fight, but you're doing this half of the fight, man. It's crazy. So big ups for Bam Rodriguez. Mikey, what do you want? Yes.
Can I just say something real quick? When he fought Runsingsabai, Rusing Savai, the Korean guy.
Ryan,
Let's just call him Savai. When he fought him, Rusing Savai, when he fought Chocolatito, he literally went after him. He was a slugger. So he was able to do the Lomachenko moves.
Yeah.
When he fought Cuadras is a go forward slugger. He was able to do the Lomachenko. This kid, like you said, Mike, this kid wasn't a slugger. This kid was a boxer. So he wasn't able to do that. But Sonny Edwards is a slugger. He goes after you. So we're going to see the best of Bam, what we saw against Rusing Savai and against Cuadras, against Sonny Edwards. And I can't wait because Sonny Edwards has also been talking a lot of crap on the internet, saying, "Hey, you're afraid of me. Come over here, fight me. You're afraid of me."
Yeah.
And actually, Robert Garcia mentioned, "Hey, we're not afraid of you. We're just let him heal, and then you're going to be our next target." So that's why I'm saying that fight, you're going to see it again, Ed. You're going to see what he did against Rusing Savai and against Cuadras. We're going to see that style because it's a go forward type of fight.
Soren V side.
That's what it is. Yeah, I couldn't even say it. Yes.
And Ed, and the truth, Gallito Estrada has phenomenal footwork. So he's looking at this, you know what? I'm gonna box him a little bit too. So we've seen Bam Rodriguez, his weakness is he needs to learn how to cut the ring, how to set the traps. When a guy's coming forward, you could do the Lomachenkos, you could, you know what I mean? Get the move to the side and everything, get the positioning. But when a guy's moving, it's a whole different ball game. Canelo had trouble with when he was young. Floyd had trouble when he was young. I mean, Ali had trouble when he was young with guys that move, southpaws. It just southpaws and guys that move give you a lot of trouble. Like I said, this fight was great work for Bam Rodriguez to learn, and he showed grit, and it was 12 rounds of work. So he needs to improve on that. But we're going to see a next fight, like Dave says. We'll see a next fight because that guy's coming forward, and he's going to do the Lomachenko moves and all that.
But I also agree with JC. You know what? Robert Garcia has been criticized a lot in the past because of the not showing enough defense. And you know what? I agree with you, Mike. You know what? He definitely needs a little bit of work on that defense, especially if he fights Gallito Estrada. He's going to definitely need to work on his defense.
Hey, listen, I'm glad that they're looking to make the fight between Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards as opposed to what's his name? Julio Cesar Martinez. Because
that's a good one too.
I don't think it's a good. I think Bam puts.
He'll put hands on him.
I think Bam beats the dog doodles out of Martinez, man. Martinez is not a good boxer. No. He's a good fighter, a good brawler, and he's exciting to watch. But Bam would completely annihilate.
Oh my God!
He would retire him. I think he'd retire him, man. I really would. I really believe it, man. But gentlemen, let's get into the upset of this past Saturday. Okay, we got the Tower Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, almost 6 feet tall, fighting at 154 pounds, going up against 29-year-old Brian Mendoza, which nobody really gave a chance to win this fight. It went, I believe, 8 rounds. Mikey, break it down, carnal. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I always said it. He doesn't use his qualities. He doesn't use his jab, his height. He throws uppercuts from far. Like he does fundamentally things that you don't supposed to be doing. And he's like 6'5", but he fights like he's 5'6". It's just like I was never a fan of Fundora, not to kick him while he's down, but like Figueroa. Remember we had the debate with Figueroa when he fought the Filipino fighter. Figueroa gets small, and I said he's gonna get hit. I've seen a lot of vulnerabilities, and I said I compared him to Fundora. Like Fundora's 6'5", but he fights like he's 5'6". He's gonna get knocked out one day. But he does have a great chin. So what I'm thinking is maybe he can't make weight anymore. He's 6'5", 6'4", 54 pounds, something like that. He's probably not making weight anymore because I've seen him get hit with those shots before. I've seen him get hit with bigger shots than that. So, and now he just got hit with that shot and he got knocked out like completely. So I think that's an indicator that he probably can't even make weight anymore because he got hit with those shots before. I don't know.
Okay, David?
You know, I agree with Mike. I mean, we talked about it on the Spanish show that he's fighting the wrong style. He's definitely fighting the wrong style. But you know what? Let's don't give this guy Brian Mendoza let's give him his props, because you know what? His last two opponents, he's knocked them out just like that. So, this guy, I don't think he's a one-hit wonder, Brian Mendoza. I would love to see him fight Brian Castaño. I would love to see him fight him. I think that would be a great fight to see at what level he's at. I don't think he's ready for Tszyu, for Charlo, but just to see if it was a one-hit wonder, because Castaño is also a great fighter, and I would love to see where he's at. And if he beats Castaño, then I would like to see him. Now he's going to be a contender, but right now he's not. But I agree with you, Mike, that you know what? He's fighting the wrong style, Fundora.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last week, I could not keep on. I could not stop saying it. I'm like, look, yes, he's fun to watch. Sebastian Fundora. Yes, he's fun to watch. I get it. I get it. It's fun. He gets it. He wants to fight in a phone booth and everything like that. He's fun. But if he does not learn how to use his attributes, his God gifts, to stay on the outside and everything, and he gets in there with somebody who could pack somewhat of a power punch, it's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt him. Now, man, there's a few things I want to say. Okay, one thing at a time. Okay. Sebastian Fundora. Okay. Mike, you said you've seen him get hit with that punch before. It wasn't a one-shot knockout, though. He got hit with a good overhand right, stumbled him, and then Brian hit him with two more good, clean shots because his hands were down. And then that's, he was knocked out with that.
And he hit the canvas with his head.
The back of his head hit that canvas pretty damn good, man. And when it comes to Brian Mendoza, okay, so I believe Sebastian Fundora is still the better fighter. Brian Mendoza was getting his ass kicked.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was losing. He was losing the fight. And not only that, going into the 8th round, I was starting to think, like, look, I know earlier I was talking about the Shakur and Yoshino fight, and I did not see Yoshino in trouble like that. But going into the 8th round, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm okay if they just stop this fight. Brian Mendoza was, a little pretty busted up. He was bleeding.
Nose, mouth, yeah.
Yeah, and he lands this one shot that changes the game, and then he lands two more shots, which knocks him out. And I'm like, okay, I love boxing for these reasons. But if I'm going to be honest, I still think Sebastian is the better fighter. Mikey, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's how boxing is, man. They stop it too early, and in this fight, they let it go. It's just it's not consistent. Man, I don't even know what to say. It's just we got to see how Sebastian recovers. Maybe he got, every boxer gets knocked out. We see what happened to, what was his name? The heavyweight. He got knocked out, whatever. But we see fighters get knocked out, and then we see how they come back. Let's see how Sebastian bounces back. Let's see how he comes back.
Yeah, David, you're saying you want to see more from Brian Mendoza. Would you want to see a rematch?
Oh, no. You know what? I'm with you 100%. I wanted them to stop that fight. I had him winning. It happened in the 7th round. I had him winning all 6 rounds easy. But you know what? Like Pomona said, you know what? He got hit with that punch. I don't want to call it a lucky punch, but it's a punch that he didn't see. And you know what? What I liked about Fundora, I don't think he's done. No, I think he's going to get better behind this. How gracious that young man was. And you know what? People have been criticizing him on the internet or lately, these Twitters, these individuals saying that why didn't he get up? You know what? He was completely knocked out.
Yeah.
And you know what, Mike, what you said, when he not only was he hit hard, but when his head hit that canvas, you know what? It bounced off. Yeah. He was out. He didn't even know who he was. And I love Corona, the referee. Corona, he was the referee, and he was talking to him, calming him down, and then he finally got up and very gracious, saying, "Hey, you know what? He just caught me. That's it." But it was Wilder when Wilder went down, and Tyson Fury when he went down with Wilder. But once again, you know what? No, I don't want to see that one. I want to see this kid, because I think we're going to see the same thing. I think Fundora beats him next time because he's going to box him. and he was, like you said, Ed, he was beating him all 6 rounds. And I was hoping they were going to stop it. His mouth was bloody. His nose looked like the bit was broken, bleeding all over the place. So it was just one of those fights. But no, I'd like to see him fight Castaño. I think that'd be a better fight.
Yeah, JC is bringing up when Preventnikent knocked out Dillian White with a shot he didn't see. He knocked him out cold, but then Dillian White comes back and beats him, and he's putting PED because he got caught with that. JC. Yeah, man. Okay, Mikey, you talk about tocados, fighters que ya están tocados.
Yeah.
Is Fundora, in your opinion, is he tocado?
I don't think so. He didn't receive a lot of punishment, and the knockout wasn't super brutal, but he did get knocked out. But like it was a combination. It was perfect. It was the everything was aligned perfect because he got hit with that shot. Then Fundora didn't go down, but he was already knocked out, and he got hit with 2 shots, and he got hit. He hit his head in the canvas, so everything was perfect. I don't think que está tocado, but we're gonna find out. But I don't think so. He didn't receive a lot of punishment throughout the whole fight, so he cannot come back and get into another war. He cannot come back fast. He needs to take his time, take some time off, come back and take an easy fight with a guy that doesn't punch as hard, and then come back. But if he comes back and he goes to war, just like when Fernando Vargas came back and he fought Castellejo or something, they almost knocked him out cold. It was too soon. He got into a war with Castellejo and he got shoot again. And then he got another fight. He got another war. It's just, no, you don't do that. So he needs to take his time to see if he's tocado or not.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, is his father his coach?
Fundora?
Do you guys know, is it Fundora's father? Is that his coach?
I don't know. I know his sister fights as well. Y ella también. She's tall, man. She's tall for a girl. So I don't know if the dad is the coach or not.
Are you sure it ain't him with the wig? Dice que es su hermana. And you sure it ain't him that goes out twice?
Looks like
with the wig and one without it.
Andrew Martinez saying Fundora gets Bambi legs when he gets hit by a power punch. Yeah, man, his legs were. I mean, when he got hit with that shot, his legs did look like Bambi trying to stand up, and then he gets knocked out. I hope to see this kid come back and fight, but I was never really that high on him. I don't know if he can ever be, the guy with certain fighters being at 154. Should he decide to move up to 160, I don't think he can compete like that, man. I just don't. He's skinny. He's too skinny. I guess that's what I'm saying. His frame is way too skinny, man. So either start putting some extra guacamole and crema on your tortas, man, and sopes, or so you can move up. But man, man, you know what? Shout out to Brian Mendoza, man, because I haven't even really mentioned him. 29 years old. Look, whether it's a lucky punch or whatever it may be, he earned it. So yeah, let's see what happens next for him, man. So definitely want to see what happens next for him. So I want to bring something up here, fellas. Early in the week, I dropped a poll, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read it. Well, actually, before we do that, I actually should do that last. A fight that was made over the weekend. That was announced, and they were supposed to be there face-to-face, but Teofimo Lopez decided to go to the UFC card. Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez is going down. David, what do you make of that fight? We have not seen Josh Taylor in over a year. What do you make of this fight?
You know what? I think it's a great fight. I think it's a good fight. I have Josh Taylor on this. Teofimo Lopez is still not all there psychologically. And one of the things that you watched Josh Taylor when he fought Ramirez, he played psychological games with him, and he definitely played mind games on Prograis. And those guys have never been accused or complained of psychological problems. Teofimo, I don't know if he's all there or not, Ed. So you know what? Because of that, I got Josh Taylor on that. And I don't think Teofimo Lopez has proved himself at 140. Who has he fought at 140 that Josh Taylor, I mean, he fought Prograis, he fought Ramirez, he's fought, and then Calque, the last one that he lost, but they gave it to him. I mean, he's been in some wars, and he's tall. He should actually be fighting at 147, not at 140. So I got Josh Taylor on that one, but it's a good fight.
Mikey?
Yeah, no, it's a good fight. We talked about this. I don't really know what to think of. It's the, like, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it's the best time if you're gonna beat Josh Taylor, right? Hasn't fought, coming off injury, coming off a win, but it's a loss. And Tio's coming off a win, but he really lost too when he fought the southpaw Spaniard. So I don't really know what to think of it, man. Let me see. It's gonna be a chess game. I don't even think Tio could beat him. I don't think Tio could beat him. It's a southpaw. This guy has experience. He's gonna get in his head in the post-fight interviews and the weigh-in and everything. He's gonna push him and his dad, and then that's what Tio's gonna lose it. And that Tio, I don't know, man. Mentally, I don't think Tio has it. I'm gonna give Josh Taylor the edge, and I'm gonna give him the dub, even though he hasn't fought in a while. But I'm gonna give it to Josh Taylor.
Yeah, Hectic Nasty, we're saving that for all next week, brother. That's gonna be all for next week, man. Fight week next week. I definitely like the fight, and I'm somewhat with you, Mike. If Tio's gonna win, this is the time to do it. Like you said, David, Josh Taylor's kind of big for this weight class. There was a lot of talks about him moving up to 147 already, and he hasn't fought in a while. Who knows if he has trouble making this weight or how much he has to drain himself to make this weight. I'm not going to say this is tailor-made for Teofimo to win. Damn it. I love that, man. Damn, I'm funny. I don't know if you guys got
tailor-made.
Tailor-made. See?
Double entendre, baby.
But I'm going to go with Teofimo Lopez on this one. I am, man. Josh Taylor has not fought in over a year. He has not have to drain himself to make 140, which he was already doing. Now you add in, his body just growing, and I'm sure he keeps himself in shape and stays in the gym and, brushes up on his skills. But I just don't know, man, how much he's really going to have to work to drain himself. Teofimo Lopez doesn't really have to drain himself. He actually moved up to this weight class, and I got Tio, man. I think Tio is gonna come in there and not destroy Taylor, but I think at the end of the fight, I think it goes, the distance. But I think at the end of the fight, without a shadow of a doubt, everybody's gonna see that Teofimo Lopez won, man. But
wow,
but yeah, that's how I got it. That's how I got it, man. But listen, gentlemen, one last thing that I want to throw on here. Okay, now next week, obviously, we'll be talking about Tank and Ryan, big fight and everything. Earlier this week, in the beginning of the week, I dropped a poll. You guys can see it right there. And basically, I'm asking which fight sells more pay-per-views. And I specified, not more money, not what fight makes more money. No, which fight sells more pay-per-views. Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, which is $60. Or Tank versus Ryan, which is $85. Okay, we got 24 votes. 96% said Tank versus Ryan, and only 4% said Haney versus Lomachenko, which is $25 cheaper, and it's for all the titles at 135. Mikey, what does this say, man, about these fights that are going on, dog? Tank is for there's no real champion there.
Yeah, sometimes fighters are bigger than belts. Mayweather said, I collect checks, not belts. So, sometimes fighters are bigger than the belts. And as we can see, Ryan Garcia and Tank is a big fight. Everyone's talking about it. I got little kids talking about it where I work. I mean, I got friends that don't even watch boxing telling me, "Hey, we're gonna kick it to watch the Tank versus Garcia." It's just these guys are stars, superstars, YouTubers, especially Garcia, man. He's got the star power, and if you really want to break it down, that fight's not even for a championship. Fight's at a catch weight, and this is the real fight, the Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. So that's kind of giving box. You're slapping boxing in the face. Like they'd rather watch two non champions fight instead of these two champions for all the belts. So no, definitely the Tank Davis versus Garcia fight is gonna sell more for sure.
David, what do you make of that?
I consider myself a boxing aficionado. I love boxing. I've been watching it since I've been 5 years old. On Saturday nights, all the Tijuana fights, all the Mexico fights. I hate watching Haney. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pay for it, man. I love Lomachenko, but Haney is a boring fighter. So you know what? If me, who loves boxing, how many Chicanos, how many Mexicanos that love chingazos, that love throwing down? You know what I mean? I compare Haney. He's a good fighter. Do you like watching Bubu Andrade? Did you like watching Trout? Did you like watching Lara? You know what I mean? He's boring. So you know what? Even us aficionados who love boxing, you know what? There it is there, man. Haney just doesn't cut the ice. And if Shakur Stevenson doesn't be careful, same thing's going to happen to him because you know what? People want to see madrazos. People want to see boxing, Mexican style. And these guys are just not bringing it as of right now. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
No, yeah, you answered it. I think both of you guys are right. Not that both of you guys disagreed, but both of you guys are right. Mikey, you're talking about the popularity of the fighters. Yes. And if we're going to be honest, Tank and especially Ryan Garcia, for whatever it is, they're much more popular than Haney and Loma. They're fighting. Haney and Loma are fighting for all the straps at 135, and it's $25 less of a pay-per-view. And I don't think it gets. I don't even think it gets half the buys that Tank versus Ryan gets, which is $25 more. You know, and it's at a catch, just like you said, at a catch weight. There is no real champion there. But nonetheless, there's more excitement, I guess, you know, because honestly, I would rather want to watch the Tank versus Ryan than Haney versus Lomachenko. However, I will say matches are more interesting to me that don't have that popularity, like Monster Inoue versus Stephen Fulton. I'm like, I want to watch that. You know, I definitely want to watch that. But go for it, David.
Hey, Ed, you know which fight I want to see? I want to see the undisputed fight between Ellerbe and Haney for the undisputed nostrils.
Oh, man. JC keeps coming on with that, man.
Up right here because I'm reading it.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, just to mop it up, there is, it's a slow boxing weekend, but there is a fight across the pond with Joe Joyce versus Zhang tomorrow. It's going to be during the day for us over here on the Wild Wild West. It's a good fight. I like the fight. I'm not going to be able to watch it live, but I am going to go back and watch it. Michaela Mayer is fighting in the undercard as well. David, you going to watch this fight?
No, I don't think so. You know what? If I'm not doing nothing, I'll watch it. But I'm gonna end up doing something. Actually, I'm writing a book on police suicides. I'm co-writing it, so it's due on Sunday. So tomorrow, todo el día, I'll be in my thing. I might take a break to watch it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Okay, all right, buddy.
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go to Costco. I gotta go get me some chicken, and I gotta go grocery shopping. I'll watch it. I'll watch the highlights. I'm not gonna lie, but I have to go to Costco, man. That's funny, man.
I look, I'm not gonna be able to watch it live. I'm gonna be at a little car show for shoot, now I forgot it's for kids with autism. So I'm gonna jump in my 1984 El Camino, cruise it out there, and I'll be out there for that. But I am gonna watch it. I'll come back and I'll definitely watch it, man. So Pomona says, I think Lomachenko will give Haney more problems than people think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
No
mean,
doubt.
leading up
Haney,
when we get there, we'll
Haney has the skills, but it doesn't have the IQ to beat Lomachenko. He has the skills, but not the IQ.
Yep. Strong words. Gentlemen, man, next week is fight week. Ryan versus Tank. And we're going to be all over it. I will be going out to Nevada for that. I will be with one Mr. Bobby Garcia. I'll be trying to cover as much as I can from there. That's where they're going to have the after party for the Ryan Garcia camp. If he loses, I don't know if there's still going to be some sort of party. I don't know, man. But, we'll be there. Go for it,
Hey,
David.
brother, when are you leaving? Because I'm going to send you those cigars. I'll put them on the mail tomorrow. When are you leaving?
We're leaving Friday morning. I hope
Friday morning.
I hope we're gonna try the best that we can. We're gonna try to be at the weigh-ins.
Okay, so the weigh-ins Friday. Okay, I'll send you the cigars tomorrow. You should get hopefully by Wednesday, no later than Thursday. So you could be. It's not going to be a victory, a sadness cigar. But
man,
I'll put some CBD oil in there to make you happy.
Hey, listen, I just wanted to play this just in case we brought up Oscar, man, because Oscar said that this fight is saving boxing. I don't know how a fight saves boxing because it's once the fight's over, what did it do? But I just to make everybody laugh, I got this right here for Oscar.
But see, that's what happens. Every time you do coke, man, that's what happens. I swear to God.
Hey, wait a minute, man.
Every time.
Yeah, every time I do coke, you get on that every time I do coke.
That's right, man. It goes straight to your brain, man, and messes it up, man. You're not going to have a brain no more.
That's funny.
That's a good one, man.
Fucking Oscar, dude.
Mikey,
hey, he was our idol. He's a weirdo, man. Fucking Oscar, man.
Mikey, anything else, big dog, before we wrap it up?
Oh man, it's gonna be a great fight. The only thing I gotta say about the Garcia versus Tank, if Garcia could take his shot and he holds off on that shot, he has a great chance of beating him, even knocking him out. I just want to see if he gets hit and he takes his shot. Oh man, he'll sleep Tank. I called it.
David,
but he can't take it.
Hey, brother, do you know if D-Style, does he speak Spanish?
Eso no sé.
No sabes?
No.
Because I'm going to try. He's been on our Spanish show, and he's been asking a lot of good questions in Spanish. I'm going to reach out to him, see if he could be on our Spanish show. We're going to have a boxing guru with us, yourself and Mikey. We're going to be breaking down the Garcia fight in Spanish. So before I send him that message, I didn't know if he spoke Spanish or not. I'll try him. Hopefully he can.
Text him and ask him in Spanish. Hey, cabrón, ¿eres pocho?
Español? Hopefully we're going to get him on the show.
Shout out to D-Style Boxing, man.
Great show.
Hey, that is one Mr. Mike Zavala. We got El Gran Chingon, El Mero Mero, one Mr. David Contreras, Cholo Trucker. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again. Next week, we will be all over the Tank versus Ryan fight to the next round. Hey, see you guys then.